right, welcome back. You tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. And for those streaming live on the TuneIn Radio app, Apple Music, Radio Seed, and more, you're listening to Lab Certified. I'm your host, Andre Speech. Back with segment 2, Parker Stiles in studio, our new assistant coach here at Lab University Christian Academy. In segment 1, we kind of got to know you a little bit. Kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, what are you. First, let me ask you what your vision is for LabU. What do you think LabU can be? Where do you foresee us going?
Well, first of all, obviously, we want to win games. That's the biggest thing, first and foremost. We want to go into every game just with the mindset of 0-0, right? We want to go 1-0 on the game, and then once we win, we want to attack the next game the same way, same mindset, no matter if we won or we lost. We're going to prepare the same way in film. We're going to prepare the same way in practice, just so we can even if we do lose, we go into the next one just with a positive mindset, and if we win, not getting too high and just going at it with the same mindset so we can consistently win throughout the year. And I think the second thing, obviously, is just preparing these guys. We're Lab University Christian Prep. We're trying to prepare them for the next level. So, taking some of these things, the schedule, right? It's a pretty, like I said in segment 1, it's a pretty intense schedule, and there's a lot going on. But it's really preparing these guys for the next level and that next challenge of going off to play college ball. So I'd say those are the two biggest things.
I know you are a new coach. We keep hammering that in. But what do you describe as your playing style? What do you like on the offensive side of the ball? What do you like on the defensive side of the ball? Like, what's your style that you identify with the most?
Well, first and foremost, I've always been more of a defensive guy as a coach, right? I feel like defense can create offense in certain situations. Being able to be solid on defense, and especially in practice, just paying attention to the details when it comes to like ball screen coverages, being in backside help, being in your gaps, rebounding the ball well. I feel like that's always been my main emphasis with whatever team I'm coaching. Defense always comes first. On the offensive side of the ball, I love getting deep into the playbook. I like always being prepared and just having sets for any type of situation. But at the same time, there are certain times and scenarios where you just got to let your guys kind of play free. I don't get mad at. I'm not super mad at guys that are trying to go out there and score. Now, if it gets excessive, obviously, there's a time and place to coach and let them know. But I'm not too, I'm not a big, hey, that's a terrible shot type of guy. If it's just one time, I'm more focused on the defensive stuff. I feel like we can always get it back on defense.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm kind of with you there. I don't like our players to be robots. Mm-hmm. I want to give them some freedom. But freedom within some structure. I don't want it to just look like open gym rec ball out there. I like guys to show their skills, show what they can do, but in a structured, environment.
For sure.
It looks a little more organized. The college coaches that I talk to, they like the way we play. They like how we execute our own offense. They like our aggressiveness and, attention to detail on the defensive end. So I feel like that style, as a prep school, we're preparing them for college, and as we kind of hammer on that a little bit, what do you think you wanna bring to players individually on and off the court while you're here at LabU? What do you like to emphasize for guys as far as being a player on the court and how they're living off the court?
Right. Well, obviously, the off the court stuff plays into what you do on the court. How you present yourself as a young man helps you on the court, right? Are you disciplined? Like, do you get up early in the morning? Do you make your bed in the morning? Right? Just little things, little steps, little wins that you could take at the beginning of the day that could help you, have a successful day on the basketball court. And on the court, I just like my guys to play with confidence, right? I don't ever want them to feel like they need to shy away from anything. I want them to go out there and like you said, play freely, but in a structured freely way. Like we don't like Coach Dre said, not any of the robotic stuff, but at the same time, being disciplined enough to get our sets run right. And I just like our guys to go in there with confidence, and discipline. So
as Allen Iverson said, let's talk about practice, right? So we spend about 10 hours a week, if not more, just in practice.
Yes.
You know, I know our guys sometimes think we're crazy just running over plays over and over and over, but we got a pretty deep playbook, and a lot of stuff comes down to execution and understanding. So, talk a little bit about practice and what you think about what we do.
I love it because I feel like Coach Dre has a great mixture, right? We spend about 2 hours each day in practice, and usually about half of it is working on the playbook and the execution stuff. Because, like you said, we do have a deep playbook, so we gotta get that stuff done, and we gotta work on it every day because there might be something that we forget to work on, for a few days. Like if we were to forget it, and then we might need it in the game on the weekend. So we got to cover everything, right? We got to cover all of our baseline out of bounds play, sideline out of bounds. Situations if we need three, situations where we want to get it down low, any type of situation, right? So, um, and then just being able to get live reps. I feel like at this level with our guys, just being able to get live reps and to see it. So, usually that second portion of practice is focused on, us getting those live reps within the playbook. So we go. So it's not just like you said earlier. It's not just pick up at the YMCA. We're getting we're playing, right? But we doing it in a structured manner where we're getting our plays in and our sets in, working on different defenses, our zone coverages, our man. So yeah, I think that the way that our practices are structured are very beneficial and they're really good for our guys. So.
As we dig a little deeper into the practice side of it, we get into now that we're getting ready to start games and things, film breakdown. It's a big part. It's a big part in high school. It will be a big part in college. And if any of them are fortunate enough to move on after that, watching film and understanding who you're playing, what they like to do, understanding your own situations and watching yourselves in practice in the film breakdowns is important. Give me just your outlook on film and the breakdown and the process of that.
Well, like I've touched on a few times already, I just keep saying this. All comes down to preparation. Preparation is just always key. You don't want to be going into the weekend when you have a game completely blind because you could, they might throw some stuff at you that you're just not ready for. So I think coming in every day, I mean, in college and at the next level, you're going through film every single day, maybe multiple times a day. So again, that's good. Just getting these guys ready for that at the next level. And for watching film on us, it's good for those guys to, since they're out there and they're playing in the heat of everything, they may feel like they did something right in a certain situation, but we can just go through it and just be like, hey, look, you could have been a step further into the paint here, or on this play, you needed to set a back screen here. So it's just the little details, and if they can see it on the big screen, they go into practice, right? The rest of practice, or maybe the next day in practice, and they can fix it there. And then that leads to the game time where, it's just reps and reps and reps, and they, get to a point where we can't get it wrong in the game. So I feel like film is something that I've always paid attention to. I've always loved watching the game growing up. So that was something that, I took upon myself even before we started watching film in high school and stuff like that. Like I always just loved watching my own games just to see what I could have done here. And, so even with my younger squad, I show them clips of stuff during the games and just be like, hey, listen, we could have done X, Y, and Z different. So yeah, it's something that's important for sure.
And as you watch film with your guys or individually, you when it comes down to the preparation, you really understand who you're playing, what they like to do. So you go into a game like I've seen, situations in game where I'm playing a team and I'm like, oh yeah, they're about to run this, and it's almost like you have the answers to the test.
Yes.
Which is a real good feeling when you know what the answer is. You can answer it with no problem. Yeah. So when we prepare the way we do, when we see some of these actions, when we see teams, we know who this guy is. We know what he likes to do. We know what they run. We know what they can run out of timeouts. Like we're as fully prepared as we can. That definitely gives you an edge.
100%.
When we get back in segment 3, I kind of want to take it down another road. I kind of want to talk about high school versus NBA. I know you got some background in around the Charlotte Hornets, so I kind of want to tie high school into that a little bit. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Lab Certified WDRB Media. Stay tuned for segment 3. Parker Stiles in studio. We'll be right back.